A quick little bonus video for this week because of some recent news. What was it? Let's find out. Hello, this is Daniel Mart back again. I am an actor and filmmaker based out of South Florida, and for this quick extra video, I kind of just want to discuss the recent news that came out that they have added a new category for the Academy Awards, which is Best Casting. Now, this won't come into play for this year's Oscars, nor will it come into play for next year's Oscars. It won't come into play until the 2026, right? Yeah, 2026 Academy Awards, the 98th Academy Awards. So in 2 years from now, this is when this category will come into play. And yeah, Best Casting. So what does this basically mean? So basically this means that now we're going to have an Academy Award for Best Casting. And that doesn't necessarily mean the Best Ensemble Cast. I think those are two very separate things. Best Ensemble Cast is basically who the cast is. So let's take Barbie for this year. So, you know, the fact that you have Margot Robbie, the fact that you have Ryan Gosling, the fact that you have Shang-Chi, the actor's actual name, I forget it right now. But, you know, the fact that you have Doctor Who, the new Doctor Who, I don't even know his name. But, you know, America Ferrera. That's ensemble. That's not what they're rewarding. They're rewarding the person who casted all those individuals in the movie. Same thing like in Oppenheimer. They're not giving it to Cillian Murphy and Josh Hartnett and Devin Bostwick. I know he had a minor role in that movie, you know, but they're giving that to the person who casted all those characters. So I think that's the one main distinction that we have to separate right off the bat, because I have seen already online a lot of confusion as to, isn't that basically Best Ensemble? And it's not Best Ensemble. It's who casted the ensemble. And I find this to be very interesting for honestly several reasons. One of the big ones that I find this interesting is because of the fact that for the past few years, two things have been going on with the Academy. That being that one, they've tried to make the show in general shorter. You know, I remember a few years ago when they said, oh yeah, there's like 6 or 7 awards we're just not going to show on TV. We're going to say that, oh, they won them through the news and people lost their shit, you know? And then because of that, they later did show all those awards on TV. But as a byproduct of them still trying to shorten the runtime of the Academy Award ceremony, they combined sound from sound mixing and sound editing into just one category, which is now sound. Which honestly, that change kind of made sense because, okay, I'll be honest, when it comes to like some of the tech aspects of filmmaking, despite me being a filmmaker, I don't fully understand some of them. And the fact that sound editing and sound mixing were like two separate categories never made sense to me. Even though I kind of know the difference, it's one of those things that, at least for me, it's so not negligible per se, but it's one of those things like it's basically the same thing. It's like saying a red apple and a green apple. They're still apples. They're just different aspects of the apples per se. You know, maybe not the best analogy, but that's how I always thought about it. So combining those two was, you know, I thought made sense. It still pisses off some people, I'm not gonna lie, but you know, combining those two, but you know, not showing the awards in general, that's a whole other thing. So the fact that now they're adding another award into this makes sense. And the other thing I kind of want to comment with is the fact that this isn't the first time they've tried to add an award into the ceremony. I mean, I think infamously, when was this? 2020, 2019, 2020, 2021, when they tried to make a popular movie category or some shit like that, which, again, heavy backlash, rightfully fucking so, you know, because it was just going to discredit like these you know, summer event blockbuster movies from actually gaining into like Best Picture. I mean, honestly, if that bullshit award of best popular film or whatever it was called would have been made, Black Panther wouldn't have been nominated into Best Picture. I think it was like that same year. So when would it have been? 2018 actually. So yeah. So the fact that they're making a new category for Best Casting, I think, if I'm being honest, actually I do very much like that. I do think it's an aspect of filmmaking that's not really thought of that often. If I'm being honest, it's something like, oh yeah, these people just casted. And the thing is that when it comes to casting, especially for some of these bigger Hollywood movies, it's not so much that, oh, I like that actor. You know, like, it's not like the director or producer, typically speaking, says, oh, I like that actor, let's have them in the movie. No, usually there's the role of a casting director, to go through all the auditions and it's usually their job to cast the roles. Yes, they do have some input with the director and the producer. There is some input, of course, given with that, but it's not just solely the director or the producer saying, hey, get Daniel Mart to be in this role. No, if for me, I'd have to go through audition before I finally get cast. And again, that's a role. That's a job of the casting director. And I'm assuming that's who's going to get the Oscar, the casting director. It kind of just makes sense. I don't really see who else you would really give it to. In that respect, if I'm being honest, I'm assuming the casting director would get that award. The one thing I do want to say, it is going to be kind of controversial, not going to lie, it is going to sound kind of controversial, but I do find it funny how best casting is the category that it's getting announced. It's the newest category getting announced, by the way, since best animated feature film all the way back in 2001. Let me just add that very fast. But this is the newest category over some other awards categories. I guess it's the best way to word it. Over some other categories that people actually do want. Because I'll be honest, generally speaking, again, like I said before, people don't think about casting in general. We take that for granted. I didn't think about this until literally when the news dropped about best casting. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, they should definitely make an award for that. Makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. But with that, with this announcement, it has kind of opened the Academy up to criticism to a certain extent. That why are you making the best casting category when we want? I think the most notable one is the fact that we want a best stunts, or how I rather word it, a best choreography category. Which, again, just as much as casting is something that's not thought of, stunts to a certain extent isn't thought of. The only thing is that we, the movie audience, are actually conscious of stunts. However, it seems that generally Hollywood as a whole isn't paying attention to stunts. So it's funny how they're always trying to make these awards where it be best popular movie or best casting or oh shit, I just remember best like, what was this, a moment in history in film or some shit like that, where The Flash won, or the Justice League won because The Flash went back in time or some shit like that. Wasn't that a fucking category like 2-3 years back? Now that I just remember, holy fuck, yeah. Holy fuck, I just remember that. But yeah, they're always trying to make these categories, and there's a category that everybody, I think, universally basically wants, which is best stunts, best choreography, however you want to word that. And they kind of make a best casting award category where nobody per se asked for it. Now, this has been a movement for some time now, from what I understand. This has been a movement that people have wanted, but this is mostly an industry insider thing. So it's mostly like, if you're a casting director, if you're actually within the industry, especially in Hollywood, if you're within the Hollywood industry, a best casting category is something they've wanted for a long time. Whereas, again, the general public has always wanted a best stunts. So I am curious to see how, if at all, this does affect the possibility of a best stunts or best choreography. I would go for best choreography category, in my opinion. It just opens up the category a bit more. I feel like if you just put best stunts, you only have the availability for it to be action movies, which I'm not saying is a bad thing, but like, let's say West Side Story, or let's say Barbie, for example, again, from this year, those do have dance moments. Would you call that a stunt, or is that more so choreography? I think choreography just opens it up more, so you would have stuff like Barbie, or maybe even The Color Purple, because that's another musical that came out, or Bottoms, right? That's the musical that came out, or Summer Camp, or something like that. There's a few other musicals that came out last year. Let them have a shot at possibly at the Oscars, because it's choreography. Yes, it may not be like John Wick, shooting gun fu crap, but it's still choreography. I think if you give it that, stunts and choreography, some kind of give it choreography instead of stunts alone, I think it opens up the category a lot more to give it that. And I find it funny how that aspect of it is still kind of ignored. I really do hope eventually we get that category, but we'll see what happens. I know one of the major things against it is like who gets the award. And I would just say the stunt coordinator, I think, is the most no shit answer. But I know for one of the reasons they still haven't done that category is because of that reason. They don't know who to give the award for. I'm like, you just give it to a stunt coordinator. What's so hard about that? Like, duh. But yeah, I know some other people are saying, oh, they should have a voice acting category. They should have a motion capture category. I kind of disagree with those categories, if I'm being honest. Motion capture for sure, I disagree with, just because like that's basically acting. Whether it be CGI or not, you're still moving. You're still able to see the performance regardless, in my opinion. So I honestly fully disagree with the motion capture category. Also, I don't really think there'd be that much motion capture performances to give out an award to in general. And I feel like there are, it's mostly going to be from like the same movie, so like I also think there just wouldn't be that many opportunities to give that award in general for that many performances unless they all come from like the same movie. So like I feel like that's kind of a why situation, As for best voice acting, I'm kind of 50-50 on it. I think the one thing with voice acting is like, how would you do that in the sense like, would you just give a general voice acting Oscar? So just like, or would you do the same thing as with like, I guess, live action acting where it's like best actor in a voiceover role, best actress in a voiceover role, best supporting actor in a voiceover role, best supporting actress in a voiceover role? Because I feel like you would need to do it that way, but then you extend the show to such a huge degree, and then I feel like there would even be controversy in that whether you do it with just those four categories or just do a general voice acting category. I feel like you would run into the issue of almost a popular movie category thing where like, oh, because they're in this category now, there's no way they're going to be nominated for best actor, best actress, whatever, best supporting actor, best supporting actress. And if you just do the one category, it's going to be mostly populated with the with the lead actors. You're not going to have a supporting actor taking that. Even getting a nomination would be hard for a supporting actor. It's mostly going to go for the lead actors. So that's why I disagree with the voice acting nominations or category. Same thing with motion capture. I just think that's acting. That could literally fall. I know it's never happened. It sucks that it's never happened. I'm not denying that, but that's acting. That's not what voice acting. I could kind of see an argument, but I just think the implementation of it will be too complicated, and it's one way or the other. It's not going to end up well. Stunt, however, should get a nomination. I know some people also want a best stunt performer category. I don't know how that would work out. Again, this is just me being kind of naive to the whole process of actual stunt making in that regard. So I'm not really going to comment too much on that. But I don't know about stunt performance, but I do definitely think a general, or I guess choreography performance. But I just do think a general stunt or choreography nomination should be a thing. And yeah, that's been the social discourse, like, oh, why are we having a best casting when we didn't ask for it, but we want these awards? Like the Oscars is always trying to get new viewers with the whole popular category thing, with the whole best movie moment thing, and all this, when that's not what we want. What we want is best stunts. Where the hell is it? So that's been the major controversy against it. And I agree with the best casting category, the fact that it's going to be implemented in 2 years. Great. Definitely agree with it. And I like the fact, even, again, something we took for granted. Go figure. I really like the fact. But if I'm being honest, I do want that award too. So yeah. And then the other thing I've also just noticed a lot, especially since this news has come out, that it's the fact that, and I could be totally off base here, so correct me down below if you want. But it's, again, just something I've seen a lot. But I think this may be the category, aside from obviously Best Actress and Best Supporting Actress, this may be the category that may be most dominated by women. So this is where a lot of women are going to start getting their Oscars, especially in a lot of the comments that I've seen. It's like, oh, you should give this person the award, that person the award, that person the award. And I swear to God, every single name I see is a woman. Every single name I see is a woman. So I'm like, okay, cool. This is going to be a woman-dominated category, which is, I think, it's pretty awesome. So yeah, that's about it. That's my thoughts on it. Overall, I agree with the fact that there's a new category. I really like the fact that there's a new category. We're not going to see shit from it for the next 2 years. But regardless, I like the fact that there is going to be a new category for this. However, hopefully, they still make a best choreography category down the line. That's the one that people really want to see. That's the one that the general masses really want to see. So they should just do it. They should just do it. So yeah, that's basically it for now. What are your thoughts on this? Comment all that down below. Let me know. And yeah, this is Daniel Mart signing off.